Hi, everybody. Mitch Tannenbaum here. Thanks for joining me today. Today, I'm going to talk about security by design and a particular example. One of the things that security by design gives you is the ability to protect data even if there's a breach. And Signal, the secure messaging application, has done a great job of that. And so I thought I'd kind of highlight what they've done and how that worked. So I'm going to share my screen here to show you something. Recently, a third-party service provider called Twilio was hacked, and a number of accounts were compromised. Among those accounts that were compromised were Signal's account. Signal uses Twilio specifically for and only for sending out text messages with the registration code when you register a new device. You can register, different devices over time. And what these guys were able to do as a result of compromising Twilio, which also compromised Signal's account, was to go off and eavesdrop on the re-registration text messages that Signal sends when you register a new device, because they don't know what the device is, and that's the only thing they can do. So in this particular case, what happens here was this particular guy who wrote this article, his account was compromised. It was re-registered to another device. And 13 hours later, he discovered that. And when he discovered it, he re-registered the device and booted the guy out. But the thing that I think is most important here is that Signal actually has some features that I weren't aware of, which are part of security by design, which are really great. So obviously, the first part of the feature was the fact that you were able to re-register a device did not give you access to any old messages, Signal messages. So that's kind of cool. Even if you compromise someone's credentials, you still don't have access to the old messages. You also don't have access to the user's contact information, and you don't have access to the user's block list. But in addition to that, they've got a feature which allows you to block the re-registration. So what they have a number of PIN codes, and I'm not going to go into that. You can go to support.signal.org and put in registration lock, and you'll get this page here. But what they have is, and let me go up here to the top, is a lock, which a PIN, which will stop someone from re-registering the device if they don't know the PIN. So let's say you're stupid and you make the PIN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which I don't recommend. That's not a great PIN. And then you say, I want to re-register the device, then you will have to know that PIN 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in order to re-register that device. Now, if you forget it, you got different problems. So put that someplace secure so you don't forget it. But what that would do is that even in this case, where the hacker user had access to the customer's credentials, they still could not re-register the device because they didn't have the re-registration PIN. This is different than your contact, your chat PIN, your device PIN. All that stuff is different than all those. This is purely for the purpose of re-registration. So if the way you turn that on and it's off by default is you go to Signal settings on your phone, you go to account and then registration lock and turn it on, and then they'll ask you to go off and create a PIN. And you can, the good thing is, if you still have access to the device, you can change that PIN. So if you forget it and you still have access to the device, not a big deal. So A, don't forget it, but B, if you do and you still have access to the device, then not a big deal. And if you forget the PIN, this re-registration PIN will expire after 7 days of you not interacting with Signal at all, which means you would need to literally uninstall it from your phone. And if you do that, then after 7 days, you can get access to your account. Now, what Signal does to try to help people is on successively increasing periods of time, they give you a reminder that says, what's your PIN? And you should, do that and do that. And they give you things here about what happens, if I forget my PIN or if it's not accepted. The PIN, by the way, has no limit in length, and it can be either numeric or alphanumeric. So that's kind of cool. And there's all kinds of things here of how you deal with, what happens if I don't see the keyboard and all that stuff. But what this would do is not only protect your messages, which are already protected because they do security by design, your contacts, again, also already protected, but this would also stop someone from hijacking your account. And so, you got to decide what your level of paranoia is. But if your level of paranoia is high, then I suggest turning on this registration lock. The only downside is you got to remember the PIN. So that doesn't seem like a really hard lift. So if you have questions about this, I know it's kind of technical and I did it really quickly. Reach out to us. We'll be happy to help you with this. Otherwise, stay safe until next time. Thanks for listening.
Turnkey Cybersecurity and Privacy Solutions offers the complete cybersecurity program for small to medium-sized